I'm Brylee Williamson. I was just interviewed by Keith Andrew, and he is a great guy with a really great message, and I highly suggest you check out his interviews.
I am your host, Keith Andrew, and you're watching the KeithAndrewNetWork. This is episode 536. I'm here with Ms. Williamson. I just want to say thank you for being a guest on my talk show.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
No, the honor's all mine. For people who want to know what my talk show is about, the whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there to never give up and prove people wrong. Prove to them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. It's to prove to them you can still amount to something. So hashtag break the labels. With that being said, half hour, 32 minutes of your time. You can say anything you want, talk about anything you want, supporting a good cause, good message, and making a new friend out of it. And with that being said, what can you tell us about yourself?
Well, I'm really bad about talking about myself, but I'm 25 years old. I recently just moved back home with my parents from Japan. So it was a really big transition. It's still a big transitional phase. Just trying to figure out the next step in life, I guess.
Don't mind me, I just did my last interview and this ran over.
You're fine, no worries.
You said you're currently in Japan, right?
No, I was in Japan.
Oh, nice.
The last 5 years. Now I'm back home in Florida.
What made the transition? Was it hard going to Florida, Japan, and Japan back to Florida? Was it a hard transition?
I think leaving Japan was really hard. Like, all my friends were there. I had spent 5 years there. I built a life there. And then I come back here, and it's like completely starting over. So it's been tough.
Well, if you have many friends or be interested, maybe we can do like a group interview.
Maybe. It's the time zones make it difficult.
Like, you guys are like a day ahead.
Yeah. Usually I'm asleep by the time they're waking up.
Well, actually, that's an interesting question I'm going to ask you. A lot of people talk about time travel, but in a way, do you think it's actually real? Because you said, well, I mentioned it, but don't mind me, I have a lot of things on my mind. Going to Japan, it's a day ahead, like Australia, but then you go to California, it's 3 hours behind, and I know Florida, same as New York, same time. But you think it's like kind of like time travel because Japan you're going to a day ahead, but yet when you go California you're reversing time.
I don't know. It's weird if you're going from the States to Japan because you lose like an entire day and it's just like a day gone. So it feels weird to know that it was like the 20th and now it's the 22nd. Where'd the 21st go?
But think about it. If it's your birthday, right? Say your birthday was tomorrow, and so you go to Japan, celebrate it, then come back. You have 2 birthdays.
Yeah, that's true. Over there, my birthday always lasted a little longer because I would have my birthday in Japan and then the States, so I'd get like all the happy birthdays, like 2 whole days.
Now, the next question I was going to ask you was, did you go to college and school in Japan or the States?
I went to school while living in Japan, but I graduated online from University of Maryland.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Kind of both.
What did you major in?
Social science.
Oh, pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you thinking? Sure. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet.
I heard of social science, but I'm not really familiar with it.
It's kind of like a gateway degree to like law or psychology or anything like that, really. A lot of humanities work. you can get like you can be like a librarian or like office assistant, stuff like that with it.
Hey,
It's kind of broad.
you can always be a lawyer.
I thought about it, but that's like a lot more years of school.
That's true.
I don't know if
My
I'm ready.
cousin was a lawyer. I don't see my cousin anymore, but yes, she went to Albany actually, and
Mhm.
I think she was there like for 6, 8 years, and she has a long time being in school,
Yeah. I
especially if
mean,
you're not passing that.
yeah. I don't know. I don't think I could be in school that long. And that's a lot of student debt to pay off.
No, absolutely. You can always enlist into the army. Serve like a year or so, and just say, give me a desk job, and they can just pay your debt for you.
Well, a lot of times I think the minimum is 4 years.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And it's not that easy to get through those boot camps and stuff. I don't think people realize like how much emotional and physical strain it is. Um, it's it's crazy. My dad was a Marine for 23 years, and it's crazy. Like just the stories he would tell of like boot camp and his first few years. You have to be really tough to do it.
It's true. If you don't mind me for accent, and I would love to have your dad on the show. I bet he knows people that deal with post-traumatic stress disorders, right? Or he has seen
Um,
it.
he might know some people. He doesn't have it. He was I would like to say he's pretty lucky on that part, but he doesn't suffer from it. But there's probably some people he knows that have it.
My grandfather used to serve in the war,
Mm,
but that's a different generation. That's World War II generation, where he had no
yeah,
choice.
yeah. I mean, there haven't been like too many crazy wars like that. I mean, we have the one that's been going on forever, but I mean, it's kind of strange to think about it. Like the way that World War II is written, it seems so aggressive compared to what we see now.
It's true. But if you think about it, World War II is like the biggest one because,
Mhm.
there's a lot of different stories how we provoked Japan into attacking us, but at the same time, it was kind of good because it gave us a reason to get into the war. I don't know
Yeah,
if that's all true, but school tells you one thing, history tells you another. But it could have been a lot worse. And the Afghanistan war, not to talk about political things if you don't
yeah.
want to.
No, I mean, it is what it is. Sometimes I have opinions, sometimes I don't. I don't unless I really know a subject, like especially political stuff. I usually won't share an opinion unless I have facts, because I'm just like
Right. Well, the
I
only
don't.
thing. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm like I don't want to say the wrong thing.
The only thing I will say about the war in the Middle East is no one has ever won there. For centuries, Alexander the Great, if he was so great, why couldn't he win there? Number one, I guess he wasn't that great. And there was so many other people. The Russians tried, they failed. The Japanese, they tried, they failed. Basically, if thousands of years of people tried fighting in the Middle East, if they couldn't do it, that's it. That's going to happen. Besides,
Yeah.
if I want to go see sand, let's go to the beach.
Oh yeah, I love the beach. Very relaxing.
And the next, going to a different subject, happier subject. Don't mind me,
Okay,
I just have a lot on my mind.
you're good.
The
I know the
first,
feeling.
the first question I was going to ask you is: when you were growing up, did you ever do any sports, or did you ever want to be a professional athlete?
I'm very clumsy. Me and sports do not get along at all. I tried soccer, and then I got cut from the team in middle school, so that kind of crushed my feelings. I was not a good swimmer. Didn't have the endurance to be a swimmer. And running, I hate running. Like, unless something is chasing me, I'll probably never be a runner. So professional athlete was not on my agenda.
Well, if it's any comfort, a lot of people say I'm spastic. That's why I don't run.
No.
But did you ever, like, you mentioned you were clumsy. Did you ever, like, cause any pile-ups, or, like, when you're doing, like, soccer, or,
Oh, nothing drastic like that. I just would trip and fall a lot.
well, you can do laps around me, I tell you that much. Now, the next question I was going to ask you is, have you ever gotten the chance to do one of those, and a lot of people make fun of me for this, so I'm a loser, but if you see my interview, you know I'm the one that asks, have you ever gotten the chance to do one of those human pyramids, or you're not into the whole human pyramid stuff?
I've never done it.
I love that stuff, I'm a loser.
No, it just makes you unique. You like different things.
That's true. I always wanted to do one since I was 3, 4.
Oh,
And
wow.
I always told, like I said, I'm a loser. But it's kind of like, oh, no one does human pyramids, it's dumb, it's pointless, but I'm still looking for it. Would you ever be interested in doing one?
Probably not. I don't like people being that close to me. That's a lot of... I like a bubble.
Some people always say I live in a bubble, so I guess we have that in common. Now,
I would like to see... Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I would like to see one of those flash mobs, though. That would be cool.
It's funny. I keep trying to get people to do that. They do a lot of these flash mobs where they're like this, and then they're like, oh, they're all dancing and everything.
Yeah.
But why don't they do something different? It's like, yeah, no. But maybe we can do like a campaign about that.
Maybe. I know they have them in like New York City all the time, so that would be interesting.
I don't know if you've ever been to Woodbury Commons. Have you ever been to New York?
I've been to the city a few times, but I didn't get to explore that much. So,
Right. Well, there's one of the biggest malls in North America is Woodbury Commons, and as you know, in the city, biggest mall, big whoop. In the city, there's always cosplayers, and I came up with the idea of dressing up as Deadpool. And I'm like, would you care if I walked around the Commons? Because we get tourists from England, Japan, China, all over the place. Wouldn't it be cool if we have cosplayers in the Commons and you can take pictures with? I know some cosplayers are assholes, but they're like, some are really nice. They're like, yeah, you can do that, but you can't cover your face. All right, there goes being Deadpool. Well, I guess I can hire a Wonder Woman, a Superman, or whatever when you show your face. Or you can walk around with the helmet, but still it's kind of like pointless. But I always thought about being a cosplayer. What about you? Are you into cosplaying?
I have always wanted to do it, but I am not talented enough to sew or build the costumes. I've always wanted to do LARPing too, so I feel like they're kind of the one and the same, for sure.
Then the next question I was going to ask you is social media. With everything you're doing in your career, do you think social media makes you or breaks you? And what is your honest opinion?
Oh, God. I have so many opinions on social media. I think social media can definitely make you as a person. It can definitely help you and further your career, but at the same time, if you're not careful, it will break you. Not as like, oh my gosh, you're no longer popular or, Insta famous or whatever, but it can break you as a person, like inside, like if you're, these days people are so constantly relying on their likes and comments and like, oh my gosh, I didn't get as many likes on this photo, what am I doing wrong? And it's like we base our worth off of those things. And, you know, I think it's definitely changed our society and like how we interact with people, and it's awful. Like, I mean, social media is a great blessing for brands and, you know, if you want to do something in that field, but you have to have the sense to step away and say that social media and the people that like me are not my worth. They're not what makes me a person, you know.
That's great. Now, what are some of your pet peeves? Like, what makes you attracted to someone? Not to say I'm hitting on you, but for an example, what are your pet peeves that say, oh, I can get along with this person, but what is some of your pet peeves? Is like, I can't deal with this person.
If they spend too much time on their phone when we're hanging out, I like to talk, human interaction. If I can't hold a conversation with someone, I don't think I could be friends with them or anything. And people that are there's a difference between cocky and confidence. And if they cross the line of being confident into cockiness.
That's true. One thing I hate, it's like, there's this person I'm friends with, and I'm looking for, if you were in New York, I would hire you to be my personal assistant because I don't drive. So I'm looking for having a personal assistant. And it's like, okay, you know, I can pay you like 120, whatever. But he wanted 150. So I'm like, fine, I can't break the 20, just give you 160. And he's a good friend. I haven't seen him in a long time. And then he's like, how long do you want to be in the city? And I'm like, dude, I'm not punching a clock. I'm hiring you to drive me so I can get interviews. But I'm not going to be like, oh my God, my personal assistant, he needs to leave in 2 hours. Can we do a 15-minute interview? I'm not pissing away $100 just to be like, hey, I got you here. Give me the money, But, I'm very picky who I interview. I'm very picky on, not say snobby, but I'm not very picky, very selective. I have to feel like a great chemistry, like what we have, and my last guest. What makes a great interview is chemistry. They go back and forth. But if you're gonna be like, okay, tell me about yourself. That's interesting. Okay, 10 minutes? Oh, I done that. Unofficially, I did over 800 interviews. And there are people that would say one word. What are you telling me about your career? Great. It's great. They do like a Donald Trump. It's great. It's wonderful. It's huge. And I look at the time, and it's like 10 minutes. I'm like, I can't make another 10 minutes out of this person. But it's just chemistry. You can have fun. You can joke around. You can have whatever. But what I don't like is being bullshit. I just want to fires me up, and I'm going to get you fired up after. It's like, I don't like people that bullshit you. For an example, I came across this interviewer who lives in New York City. And I'm like, okay, we were supposed to do an interview today. They're like, okay, message him. I met him like a week ago, so just fast forward a week. What kind of like time travel, but just skip a week. It's like, okay, are we still on for the interview? Yes. Okay, 4 o'clock? Okay. Did you sign the permission form? Okay. Alright, are we still on? Yeah, just how he said, yeah, I don't know what his problem was. I thought he was constipated or something. I don't feel comfortable doing the interview. I don't want to do it. Okay, well, thank you for telling me a day of end so I don't have to call out of work. And then it's like, okay, before that, we're saying August 30th, and just to do a little plug for myself, it's going to be the KeithAndrewNetWork tour date. I'm still working on the name. I'm really lame at coming up with cool names. But it's KeithAndrewNetWork, New York City. I don't know, let's call it Warped Tour. It's some name. I will eventually come up with something better. But on the 30th, I plan on being in New York City. And the idea was do a whole day of interviews. However, that was plan A. Plan B would be just go to the Intrepid. I always wanted to go to the Intrepid, but my dad's too old. He said, I can't do all that climbing and going in submarines or whatever. Go find somebody else. No one else wants to do it. So I hired my personal assistant, my other friend. So okay, so plan A is a whole day of interviews. That's not going to happen. So annoyed about that. But plan B, we go to the Intrepid. We're going to visit the World Trade Towers. Well, Freedom Tower. To me, it will always be the World Trade Towers. Circle Line. Let's go to the Manhattan Museum, one of the big museums in Manhattan. Let's go to under that. Can't think of it, but it's kind of like in SeaWorld. It's a place where you look up and you're in a fish tank, but you're not actually in a fish tank. You're just fish swimming around you. I think it's a planetarium.
Like an underwater aquarium or something?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, like I said, I'm bad with pronouncing names. But, let's do something fun. That's plan B. So I took the day off from work. I might as well do something of it. But going back to the guy, it's like, I'm going to be there August 30th. Yeah, I'm pretty booked up. Okay, is there a way we can still meet up? Maybe we can do a special interview? Yeah, 4 o'clock. And I don't mean to bitch to you. I do.
It's okay.
But it's guys, like I said, I'm gonna open up to you, and hopefully you can do the same for me. And it's kind of like if you want, and it's like, so August 30th, 4 o'clock, we do a 25 to 35-minute interview for your show. Yes, your show. It's kind of like New York or talk radio. Okay, and then I'm like, are we still doing my show today? Yeah, I don't want to do it. Okay, whatever. I'm not forcing you. I'm not holding a gun to your head. You don't want to do it, you don't do it. Are we still on? This is where it pissed me off. Are we still on for August 30th, 4 o'clock? He said, yeah, you're coming to New York City because I'm about like 2 hours away, 2 hours and a half. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to come down there and we're going to do your show. My show? We're doing your show. Okay, that would be great, but I don't have memory on my phone to do that. So, why am I traveling 2.5 hours, 200 miles, that is 2.5 hours to the city, just to shake your hand and say, oh, it's great to meet you. Okay, see you next week for my online show. There's something called a phone. There's something called video chat. I talk with my hands. And it's kind of like, why do I have to travel? You said we're doing your show. You emailed me saying, yes, August 30th, 4 o'clock, 25 to 35 minutes, we're going to do your show. No, we're not. We're going to do your show. And it's kind of like, and then he's like, yeah, there's a misunderstanding. We're not going to do it. And I'm like, okay. I said, let's start over. August 30th, you said you're booked, but you're willing to make time for me. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to be a guest on your show. Yes. Okay. Are we still going to do your show? No. And then it's like, what the hell are we even talking about? So I just blocked them. I said, you go over there, women, you talk about being in the bubble. Go burst your bubble over there. I'm going to go find somebody else. But that's what pisses me off. I don't like bullshitting. I don't like manipulating people. If you're going to do something, I expect you to hold up. Doesn't matter. Friend, family member. If you say you're going to do something, I expect that. And passing that show over to you, what pisses you off? Like, what gets you fired up?
I would say, I'm pretty much the same way, when people make all these promises and they say they're going to do something for you and, they're going to be there and do all these things and then they just don't, or they just disappear and they ghost you. I think that's what makes me angry.
No, I agree. And there's like hundreds of people, and then we can go on another subject in a minute. There's like hundreds of people who I interviewed have their own shows. And I said, well, I would love to be on your show. Hey, let me know when you want to come to the city, and we can definitely make something work. Okay, August 30th, I'm going to be there for the whole day. And that's just what they do. And it's kind of like, nope, not going to work. No, can't do it. Or they say, it isn't necessary to do an interview in person. But didn't you just say, come let me know when you're coming to the city and we're going to do the interview? Now it's saying, no, it's fine. You call in, you do a 3-minute interview. Who the hell does a 3-minute interview? Hi, my name is Keith. This is what I do. Thanks for calling. I know, I just really don't deal with stupidity like that.
Be your elevator pitch, the 3-minute interview. This is what I do. This is why you should reach out to me.
That's true. Now we're going to take a quick commercial break, and with the last 7 minutes left, I'm going to pass it over to you, and you can ask me anything you want.
Okay.
It's Vanessa Lina. I'm Adrian Lalo. This is Cynthia Bass today. I'm Sonia Fisher. This is Shane Smith. My name is Alexandra Bowie. My name is Amelia Clover.
Hi, I'm Amy Linden.
Hi, I'm Anita Nicole Brown.
It's Meg Green.
Hi, my name is Asata Caldwell. Hi, everybody. I'm Brooke from
Hi, I'm Bryn Berg.
Hi, I'm Casey Dunn.
Hi, it's Cassandra Kavinsky.
Hi, I'm Christina Briza.
I'm Cindy Hogan.
I'm Courtney Sinello.
Hi, I'm Daisy.
My name is Deborah Jane East.
Hi, my name is Dinah Maasea.
Everyone, I'm Victoria London.
Hi, I'm Heather Crona. Hi, I'm Heather Callahan Stevens.
Hi, I'm J. Nicole Ralph.
My name is Jamie Petrell. My name is Turi. My name is Julia Brankovich.
Kathleen Wills.
Kimberly Amato.
Hi, my name is Laura Putnam.
Hi, I'm Laura Chapanis.
Hi, everyone. I'm Melissa Damas.
This is Michelle Mupo, a.k.a. Fuchsia.
I'm Rachel Olivera.
Hi, my name is Sarah Joy Mount.
Hi, I'm Susan Brender.
Hi, everyone. This is Venus Leone.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Dana.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Herrera, and I was just on the Keith Andrew Network. It was tons of fun. We used up all our time and then some. I really recommend this show, and try to be a guest on Keith's show. It was super fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Keith Andrew Network. I'm here with the beautiful and talented Ms. Williams. I just want to say thank you for being a guest on my show.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Yeah, the honor is all mine. Now, it's the last 7 minutes and counting. I'm going to pass it over to you. And we were talking on, I'm going to give you some training if you don't mind.
Okay.
You said this is your very first interview.
Yeah.
And now, was there anything that you were expecting? Did you think, did I hit all the subjects that you wanted me to? Am I living up to your expectation? What is your honest opinion about being interviewed?
I think for a first interview, it was definitely much more relaxed than I thought it would be. Nothing hard hitting and heavy hitting and let's talk about this scandal or something that you see all over the media these days. So, it was very relaxing and not nervous or awkward.
No, absolutely. Like I said, unofficially I did over 800 interviews. And officially, thanks to you, we're up to 536. And I know I put people to sleep too.
No, I'm just still not feeling well. I've been just drained. So that's it.
None taken. But, it's kind of like I get the same reaction. I don't know why you want me on the show. I don't have it. And I'm going to point this out for everyone. The whole point of my show, like I mentioned, the whole point of my show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities to never give up and prove people wrong. Prove to them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be, and to prove to them you can still amount to something. That's my mission. Now, with that being said, yes, I have interviewed actors, actresses, models, CEOs, professional wrestlers, cheerleaders, teasers, people with disabilities, people without disabilities. My show, I cater to everyone, number one. Because if you just do, find an example, one person thought like, oh, you just interview wrestlers. No, I don't do that. Oh, so you just interview people with disabilities. Who the hell said that? No, I don't do that. And then I'm like, oh, you just interview CEOs. I'm like, well, let me do it like this. I hold up flashcards. Me have disability. This is what I do. It's kind of like caveman was fire. Fire would keep you warm. Just trying to make you laugh. But it's kind of like, I'm showing you, I was labeled handicapped, mentally disturbed, retarded, my disability. But look at what I'm capable of turning myself into an example. Saying, hey, this kid who was labeled handicapped, mentally disturbed, retarded, can create a talk show for 5.5 years. Disability or not, you can still amount to something. That's why I say labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. And people keep trying to mess it up, like, oh, I don't have a disability, I don't want to be on your show, or why should I be on your show? I'm like, that's not the point. By having you on the show, like yourself, you're supporting a good message, you're having a good conversation, you're making a new friend, and you're helping me spread the message that's saying you can still amount to something. Just because, oh, you don't have a disability, I don't want you on the show. Or you have a disability, that's great. And then you find out the person doesn't really have a disability. But it's kind of like, I don't know, a lot of people like to misscrew things and just try to tear you down. But my mission is to show you, you know, you can buy people say I wear it on my sleeve. In fact, said it once, like I say 100 times. Labels, you know, fast forward the whole speech. Labels don't dictate who you are and who you're going to be. You should prove them to them out to something. But it's just showing you no one's perfect. And when I die, before I die, I like to give people an opportunity. That's why I approached you. That's why I approached 536 different other people, 35 other people, saying, you know, this is the mission I'm doing. I like to extend my hand to you in friendship. I'm making a statement. I like to have you a part of it. And you're either going to accept the fact that, hey, this kid with a disability creating an own show, he wants me a part of it, thank you. Or you got to be an ass about it and be like, oh, I don't have a disability. Why should I be part of your show? And be all snobby and perfect and confident, or cocky or whatever. Like I said, you're going to meet a lot of assholes in life, but it's that very few people that you're going to meet, like me, like yourself. It's going to actually say, I remember Keith for giving me an opportunity. You said you never done an interview before. I'm giving you an opportunity in practice to be on my show. So, God forbid I die or we never talk for any more reasons. Someone say, what are you grateful for? And maybe you will say this, maybe you won't. You would probably say, there's a guy who had a disability, created his own talk show, who wanted to give me the chance to get interview experience. If that makes any sense.
It does. You're most definitely an inspiration for people that labels don't define who you are. I mean, nobody's perfect. I mean, I get it all the time. People go and they look at, you know, my social media and they look at my modeling photos and they're like, oh, your life must be so great, you know, like, but little do they know that I suffer from crippling depression and it sucks, you know, like most days I don't even want to get out of bed. But nobody's perfect, and I think people need to realize that that the majority of people aren't perfect, and, you know, as long as you're kind to others, you know, that's what's most important. Don't be an asshole.
It's like saying, I was going to say like an oxymoron, it's like saying Marilyn Manson, you know, it's a perfect person. Sometimes he's a man, sometimes he's a woman. But it's a perfect person. Or you look at Trump, President Trump, he's whatever you want to say. But he's far from perfect, to give you that much. I can be president. But everyone likes to. I don't ask kiss, I don't please, I don't, try to get brownie points from everyone. It's just saying, this is who I am, and this is what you're going to do. But wrapping up our talk show, I do have a couple of questions for you.
Okay.
But wrapping up, when I first approached you to be a guest on my talk show, what was your first reaction to be a guest on my show? And after, that's my first one. And how can people follow you on social media?
My first reaction was, I guess, oh, how did he find me? What did I do to stand out and get asked to be on a talk show? That was my first reaction because, I'm just a normal person, and it's just oh, okay, so it was kind of interesting, and it was felt like an honor to be offered, and I guess the easiest way to follow me on social media would be Instagram. That's the one I use the most. I'm awful at Twitter. Hate Twitter. But they can just follow me at Brylee, BRYLEE_W. And I don't really have too much of an interesting life, so you'll see a lot about my cat.
To be honest, I'm boring. I listen to my sister, I listen to my brother, and I listen to my dad. They have funny stories. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, my life sucks. I don't have any funny stories. I'm not funny. I get to make you laugh. That's a plus, but I don't have any funny stories. A lot of people say when they listen to me talk, they say they hear white noise. Or, they're listening to the grass grow. That's how I see my life. But I'm just showing you, it's kind of, that goes to what you were saying, and I can talk to you off the air afterwards, and say, why did I approach you? It's because, yes, it would be easy to say, oh, I like wrestling fans, or I like CEOs. Let's get these big, famous people on. But you're an upcoming person in the business. I'm an up-and-coming person in the business who happens to have a disability. I want it to give someone the opportunity that you're going to be thankful for. And as I mentioned before, if I die, say one thing I remember about Keith was, his talk show was really terrible, but he was nice enough to give me an opportunity to be on the show. It's like that too. And he's supporting a good cause, you're making a new friend out of it. It's a win-win. And it's pretty much how I see my life and how life is. It's a work in progress. You're not going to please everyone, but that's the thing. If you set yourself up for failure, that's when you try to please everyone. If you're just being yourself, eventually you're going to win those people over.
It's a good way to look at things.
Now, I do have a couple questions for you off the air. But wrapping up, it was a real honor and privilege having you as a guest.
Thank you so much.
And I'm looking forward to part 2 down the road.
Me too.